Welcome to our video series, The Startup Journey. We all admire the success of a startup, but behind it lies a lot of hard work and sacrifices by the founder, especially if they are building for the Bharat segment or the low and moderate income segment. In this series, we will hear about founders' journey, their challenges and aspirations, and much more. All of these startups have been supported by Financial Inclusion Lab, an accelerator program incubated with CICO and supported by MicroSave Consulting. You can know more about these startups by clicking the link in the description below. To begin, please tell your name and the name of your startup.
I'm Mithun. I come from a startup called Chhotastock. I work as a founder and CEO there.
So Mithun, what does Chhotastock do? Name sounds very interesting, but what does it do?
So we are a SEBI registered research analyst where we are merging the worlds of gaming, shopping and investing for young millennials where we want them to put them out of credit and then still make them aspire for things which are very much important for them.
Okay, so that is still sounds interesting, but how do you do it?
So we have an AI engine where we build stock baskets. We understand the demography and we understand the needs of the customer. From there we build baskets which returns more than 50-60% annually. And when it comes to traditional asset classes, it's always conservative, very less returns, and that is where especially young millennials do not, or maybe have an inherent inclination towards not investing in traditional asset, but they also want expert advisors where they do not have access to, and that is where we come in and help these millennials achieve their goals realistically, at the same time build a solid portfolio for themselves and get ready for the next decade of financial growth.
Okay, so Mithun, when you say millennials and the stock market, do they belong to high income segment, mid income segment? Whom are you targeting specifically?
No, definitely not, because when I say millennials, it is mostly the age group that we are focusing on, between the age of 21 to 28, and the name itself suggests Chhotastock. The reason we wanted to cater to a low or mid-income segment was the affordability challenge. You take any example of stock market, maybe a large cap stock like Reliance or an Infosys, how many of the existing aspiring investors can actually buy one unit of Reliance, right? So our idea was to give something which is affordable at as low as 100 rupees and yet build a solid portfolio for them.
So that sounds interesting, but where did you, what were you doing before you started Chhotastock?
So basically I'm an engineer by passion. By profession also, I started as a project engineer with Wipro. Then I switched to Zerodha, where I understood stock markets as well as how to build traditional stock market trading systems, right? And coming to my stints at other wealth tech startups, I headed engineering and closely worked with the founders, and that's where 2020 I ventured out into an algo trading platform called Blitz Money. So this is my second venture.
Okay, great. Yeah. So why this segment, and what triggered you to start Chhotastock?
Yeah, so when I started Blitz Money in 2020, it was more focused towards futures and options, where it was algo-based investing. Wanted to build something where people do not monitor their portfolios, but at the end of the day, futures and options is an instrument which requires higher risk appetite, higher margin to invest, and
right.
We were more focused towards HNIs,
right.
And it's not a scalable model. How many HNIs do we have in the world? And I wanted to build something very similar to the larger audience, okay. And that is where in 2021 I, with the core offering keeping the same, started Chhotastock.
I mean, from your startup, I am moving focus to your own journey as a founder. What has been your inspiration to start Chhotastock?
No, definitely. Even while I was pursuing my engineering, I was closely, or maybe I was very much keen to learn what is happening in the valley, how many startups getting funded, what are their ideas, how are they scaling up, and definitely during my tenure at Capital Quotient and Zerodha, of course, I've seen founders hustle every single day very closely. And coming to coming to entrepreneurship, it was something that I wanted to do because everyone from my family is a banker.
Okay.
And being a techie, also wanted to be a entrepreneur, and that is major motivation for me. But otherwise, the target segment itself is more fascinating for me, the LMI segment, because when we speak about investing in the country, everyone is focused towards at the top layer,
Right.
and disregard the people who earn 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees on a daily basis, right? So I wanted to focus on those people and build a portfolio for them and help them achieve their aspirations.
So Mithun, I am, very interested to understand your journey as a founder. When did you realize that you are meant to be an entrepreneur? Because I assume this is your second stint, right?
Yeah. So again, right. So when I see founders, especially when I was working with Capital Quotient, I saw when founders get a lot of money, they spend a lot of their fundraise towards paid ads, and somewhere even I thought that it is not the right way to build platforms, maybe build something especially for this segment, and somewhere there was some fire within me to also solve this aspect, and that is also one of the reasons that I wanted to get into entrepreneurship. Yeah.
But what if I ask you to pinpoint one reason for you to become an entrepreneur?
Personally, what I feel is entrepreneurship is not a glamour, right? And for me, entrepreneurship is all about wealth quotient.
Okay.
And
what do you mean by that, wealth quotient?
so when I say wealth quotient, the freedom at which you can, because I'm a creator, right? So I create products every single day. It takes hardly 1 or 2 days for me to create a product. But when it comes to selling it to a customer, and at the end of the day, that's a success story for me. And for me, a success story is all about how financially freedom I am, and maybe entrepreneurship is a way for me.
So Mithun, you said that entrepreneurship is not glamour.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that what you would have been able to make when you had worked as an employee versus the challenges you have faced as an entrepreneur is very different.
Correct.
So how entrepreneurship has impacted your personal life?
Definitely yes, because if I have to be very candid here, I got married just at the time when I started, right? So especially in the last 4 years, I have not given enough time for the family, but even they are supportive enough, because entrepreneurship is not a 9 to 5 job, right? It is a 24/7 job that you need to be on your shoes every single minute of the day. And I guess even apart from that, there has been nothing a bit drastic change in my personal life. Of course, financial is part and parcel of being an entrepreneur, but yeah, that's how it is.
Okay. And do you ever regret being an entrepreneur? Or let me put
Not at this point of time.
Okay.
I am not regretting at this point of time, at least. I don't know in future, but
Okay.
no regrets.
So one of the other facet of this entrepreneurship is, and especially when you're trying to solve a problem, is about building a team around you, because you cannot solve a problem on your
Exactly.
own, right?
Yeah.
Your team contributes as much as you.
Very
right?
much.
How do you attract suitable people and retain suitable people when you're building a startup?
Again, right, so maybe this is how I've learned how to make things work, right? So for me, there are 3 P's. The number 1 P is the product, the second P is people, and the third P is profit. Right? For me, the first P, the priority from my point of view is always people. People is much more important than product, and product is much more important than profit. Right? So this is the way I look at my business, and it's been more than 7-8 years that I've been managing people, and maybe I know how to handle people, and there's absolutely no way that you can build a product without people.
Yeah, but on the way, have you learned some tricks, or what motivates people? Why they want to remain with you? What has been your observations?
See, I look at my organization in a way that even I am an employee, right? So, the moment you say this is my business, it's not going to work. It's everyone's business. Whoever is part of the team, everyone has equal contribution, equal responsibilities towards building a business. And if you empower people towards it, I guess that's more important, especially for the people I am at least working in the last 7 to 8 years. They want to be empowered, right? So as long as they are empowered, they are happy.
How do you do that? That's easy said than done.
No, see, empowering people is not only to say do whatever you want, right? So first and foremost thing, the person should be aligned towards the business objective first, and the moment they understand the business and the mission that we are into, and empowering is not a big challenge.
Okay. So again, your employee is one part of your problem solving mechanism that you have built on, but others also, for example, you have been part of the Financial Inclusion Lab and etc. program,
yes.
right? How did that support you in your journey?
No, see, accelerators are very much important for any startup, right? Whether it is a billion-dollar company, some or other time, some phase of their entire life cycle, they would have got into an accelerator program. Why it is very much important is because it acts as another pillar in your scaling and as well as the growth, right? So financial inclusion, yes, because maybe the only reason that I applied for financial inclusion program was they had a very vast experience. Maybe they have spent more than 2 decades in this segment, LMI segment, to understand and build something for them with greater portfolio companies with them, and maybe that was also the reason I applied for Financial Inclusion Lab, and no regrets there as well. Right? So we have got enough support across departments. It's not only about connecting with portfolio companies or maybe connecting for a business partnership. It is about understanding the customer, starting from understanding the customer, understanding the problem statement, to how do we scale and how do we build a billion-dollar company. This is the journey that an accelerator adds on to your journey.
Right. Apart from accelerators, who have been your support pillars in your journey?
Many people. So I, especially since the time I've started my own company, I look at everyone as my mentors. Right? So I try to learn from everyone I meet, whether it can be a potential investor, it can be a potential customer, a friend, a family member. Everyone have been a mentor for me, and definitely my ex-colleagues who helped me when I started with all the tech efforts, and never mentioned the founders at my previous organization. They have helped me a lot. Understood. Even today, right?
So those are the ones you
yes.
go after when you are stuck with.
Correct.
And I'm pretty sure those occasions are far many in your startup journey.
Maybe 10 or 20 times every single day. That's how it is, because I am a person who thinks entrepreneurship is a degree
Okay. That's a
that
good
you
way
need to pursue as well.
Right,
So everyone is a teacher for me.
That's a good way to put Mithun. So let's go a little deeper in your entrepreneurship journey. What would you say has been your biggest lessons since you have started till date? In terms of customers, in terms of funding, in terms of how should you approach the market across different aspects of
Correct.
of a startup building.
Maybe the product that you are going to, the idea that you have, the product that you build, and the first customer, it all constitutes to just 1% of your success story. There's still 99% that you need to do, because there's product market fit, then there's scaling, then there's growth, and then you want to be a billion-dollar company. So to that journey, I guess having an idea and building a product is not even 1% of your journey, and maybe that is a major learning that I've understood over the period of time. And second most important thing is, especially post 2021, we have seen funding winters. Every now and often we understand how difficult it is to build a sustainable business model, right? So go back 20 years down the line, if someone wants to start, even that is called a startup, but at that point of time there was no access to capital. How would they even build it, right? So maybe I'm still trying to learn that, but yeah, this is the major learnings for me.
What motivates you, okay, in order to continue despite so many challenges? I'm pretty sure your system must be breaking. There would be 10 other issues, right?
Correct.
Be it in terms of your technology or your product,
Yes.
right? Or even regulation, because you are in the investment space.
Correct.
Right? What motivates you to keep going?
See, somewhere I read, the moment you taste the blood of entrepreneurship, there's no way going back, right? So maybe the moment you feel that you are unemployable, because tomorrow something happens and I don't get a job, the only way I can sustain is through entrepreneurship, right? So maybe that is something that drives me every single day. It's not that if I go back and find a job, I don't get a job, I might not get a job as well. But the moment you taste that blood of entrepreneurship, it's always go up, and take more and more risks. And this is what motivates me.
Can you go a little deeper on that? I mean, what is it that?
Maybe if I have to put it this way, right? So assume that maybe if I have to only speak about entrepreneurship, or if I have to speak about Chhotastock and my entrepreneurship journey with Chhotastock, I look at my business as something that I want to build in the next 5 to 10 years. Right? So many ups and downs will come, and I am that is something I'm okay with it.